I'm with Kat Martin, New York Times best-selling author. Kat, how did your career start?
Well, it was actually an accident. I never thought about writing anything. I went to college. I never thought about it. I had no idea. I never knew what I really wanted to do, actually, until I started writing. And what happened was my husband now, my current husband, I mean my husband of today, L.J. Martin, he was my boyfriend back then, many, many years ago, and he had written a novel called Shadow the Mast, which Wolfpack now has published. But at that time, he was having trouble publishing it. And so I thought, well, I had loved the book so much, I thought, why couldn't this sell? Because I read a lot of bestsellers back in the day. Thought it was that good. So I thought, okay, well, wonder what's wrong with it. So I read it as an editor. And when I did that, I saw a lot of spelling errors and things like that, and we didn't have spell check back in the day. So I thought, well, I can fix this in a week or two. I worked in that book 2 months, but in the meantime, while I was messing around with it for 2 months, I started to see how the rhythms of writing a book actually worked. And I thought, I think I can do this myself. And I had always had a lot of stories in my head, so I thought, I'm going to try it. And so anyway, I gave it a try. I wrote a book, and it took me, God, it was so hard to learn. Learning to write is very difficult. You have to learn it, but you also have to have a kind of an innate sense of how it should work. So you have to, reading a lot is good. If you read a lot of other books, you kind of get the rhythms of how it should be. So anyway, that's what happened. And so I wrote a book called Magnificent Passage, which I believe Wolfpack also has that book
We do.
today in their list. And that was my first book. And I sold it, we both sold our books within 6 weeks, 6 weeks of each other back then, and this was way back in the 80s. So that they came out within 6 weeks of each other, strangely enough, and so we toured a lot together in those days because we kept having books out about the same time. So we would do book signings and all that kind of thing together. Most of the things we do is on the internet. You know, we're on Facebook every day, constantly interacting with readers on Facebook through a newsletter that goes out. When I have a book out, we do it about we get in touch with them about once a week for like a month, and then after that we kind of just stay kind of loosely in touch, but let them know what's going on coming up for us or for me or whoever's.
You've been in the business long enough to experience the transfer to digital.
Right.
What do you think of that?
I think it's sort of good news and bad news. I actually think right now it's coming around to a nice spot because it kind of sucked all the readers into digital away from print. But now people are saying, well, I like my digital. I take it with me on trips, but I really kind of am enjoying getting back to print, holding a print book. And so the print books are kind of coming back a little bit, which means the independent bookstores are getting another kind of a fresh breath of air. Hardcovers are selling better than paperbacks at the moment, which is unexpected since they're so expensive. But so the print world is kind of settling back and coming back. But the digital, I think, is really a terrific thing because you can travel so well with any number of books.
Sure. Unlimited library.
Unlimited library, and the size of what drew me originally to digital was the size of, because of my eyes, I don't have great eyes, and I could set the print up a little bit bigger, and it's easy to read. It's no strain, where the print books have a tendency to be more difficult, I think, on your eyes if you're really reading a lot.
I agree. Yeah, every book is large print now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Although they still do them in large print. So,
tell us about your latest book.
Well,
I've yet to read it. I'm looking forward to it.
It's strangely enough when you write these, I honestly rarely can tell how it's going to turn out. I mean, is this going to be a good one or is it not going to be? I always think they're going to be terrible in the middle. The middle, I think, oh my God, what am I going to do? This is the worst book I ever wrote. And then at the end, you know, you're like, well, it's not that bad. Then you work on it some more and you're like, wow, I kind of like this. This is turning out all right. Well, this particular book, I got to the end. I still really didn't see it. But my editor, I thought, well, this is pretty good, but I don't know if... Anyway, I started getting these reviews, and I guess it's one of my best books, which now, as I look back and I think, wow, I get why people like it so much. But I got a starred review in Publishers Weekly, which I had dozens of books and never had. It was kind of a life goal of mine to get one. I never thought I'd get a starred review because it's really more of a literary thing, and you know, they're picky. I thought, well, I just write stories. I'm more of a storyteller than a writer of, you know, wordsmith, they call writers who write a lot of words, and I'm not like that. But anyway, this time they liked the book, so they gave me a starred review, and it's been one of my, I think, favorites for readers. It's been one. Beyond Reasons, the name of the book, and it's set in Texas, the first of a Texas trilogy that I have.
How many books have you written to date?
I lost track around, I'm gonna say like 68 or 69, it could be 70, but it's right at that. Somewhere.
What's your day like? A normal writing day?
Well, I like to write. It's a love-hate relationship. I heard all the writers here, Western writers were at the conference here. All the writers they love writing, I always think to myself, I love hate writing. I love going in there, I love getting started, and then about halfway through the day I'm thinking, I'm tired, it's not coming in my head right, I've got to redo this, I have to go back. I'm not hating it, but then the next day, again, I'm ready for another day. I really do like the whole process of sitting there and getting the story in my head and trying to get it down on paper. It's kind of
Do you have a set schedule?
I work, I go to the gym on 3 days a week, so I go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with my husband. And then we come home, so those are half days, because it's a 30 miles round, 60 mile round trip to go to the gym for us. So we come back, and then I work in that afternoon. I try to do some more PR, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, half a day is a lot of promo that day if I can. Long days, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. So as you can hear, there's no days off in there, because really, we live out in the country. It's, if we're traveling, that's a day off.
What percentage of your time is devoted to promotion?
Not as much as I need to, probably, but I hope that you always kind of hope the publisher is going to, especially with digital now, because we're doing so much digital promotion, blogs and things like that, and I'm hoping that they will step up, as they have been actually doing, is kind of doing more for you, because they want you to keep writing. They don't really want you taking off days at a time and spending it on Facebook, let's say. So I do at the end of the day usually spend about an hour on Facebook. So that's one of my best ways of reaching.
You do it in the afternoons?
Yeah, and then I have a personal assistant that sets up all the ads and things. We do a lot of advertising on the internet.
What any advice for a new author just now breaking in?
I tell you, today it's harder and easier. I think it's been it's easier to get published because you can go digital. And you can find a digital publisher. If you don't even know anything about digital, you can find a company like Wolfpack or somebody that will come in and help set you up with maybe even a web page or help you get yourself up and running, and you can get your book out. But because it's easier, there's a lot more books. And if there's a lot more books on the internet, like on Amazon or Nook or wherever, finding your way to the reader is really difficult. So you can get your book out easier, but it's harder to get.
I agree. Amazon just topped 5 million books.
Which is a terrifying thought. You're thinking, how, for new authors.
Discoverability is tougher and tougher.
Tougher and tougher, yeah.
Well, anything else you'd like to share?
Well, I'll tell you one thing I would like to, I think, stick with it. Write your book, then get it done, get it the way you want it, then figure it out from there, really. You'll usually find a path.
Okay. Well, Kat, thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. It's
And
always a pleasure
hope to see a lot more of your books.
Always a pleasure working with Wolfpack.
Thank you.